Hello everyone, today we'll talk about finding the rate in a given problem. Let's start with our short story titled Spectacles. In a class of 40 students, 12 students are wearing eyeglasses. Now let us find what percent wear eyeglasses and what percent don't wear eyeglasses. In this problem, we are given that there are 40 students in the class. So this is our whole. Okay. Then, among the 40 students, 12 of them are wearing eyeglasses. Now we will use this information to answer our first question. So basically, we just have to know what percent of 40 is 12 because again, among the 40 students in the class, 12 are wearing eyeglasses. So let us identify the percentage, base, and rate in this problem. The percentage is 12 because it is after our keyword is. Although 40 is before the keyword is, 40 is after the word of. That means 40 is our base. Then what's missing is the rate. That's why we're asked to find the percent. For us to find for the rate, let us recall that rate is the number indicating how many percent or hundredths are taken. And it has a percent sign. Let us not forget that it has a percent sign. Now, the formula that we will use to find for the rate is percentage divided by base. Okay, for us to easily remember this one, we may again use our triangular figure which looks like this one. P should be on top and B and R are both at the bottom. Okay, you may interchange the two. Again, since R is missing, let's focus on P and B here. Since P is on top of B, the operation that we will use is division. That's why this is our formula. Rate is equal to percentage divided by base. Now let's go back to the problem. Again, let us first find what percent of the class wear eyeglasses because the information given to us are the number of students wearing eyeglasses. Now let's use the formula. R is equal to percentage divided by base. 12 is our percentage and our base is 40. Again, take note it's 12 divided by 40. You cannot interchange the two because that will give you a different answer, an incorrect one. So again, it should be percentage, that's 12 divided by the base, which is 40. So when we write it in our solution, that should be 12 is inside the division bar and 40 is outside the division bar. Now let's divide 12 divided by 40, that is 0. There's no 40 in 12. Okay, if that's the case, we'll need to add a decimal point here and 0 for us to continue with our division. 120 divided by 40 will give us 3 and 3 divided by 40 is 120. There's no remainder, so we'll stop with our division. But let us not forget to put the decimal point above the decimal point in our dividend. Okay, so in our quotient, that will be here. Okay, so our answer will be 0.3. But this is a decimal number. What we are looking for is a percent. That means we need to change this decimal point to a percent or to a rate. And how will we do that? We just simply have to move the decimal point twice to the right. Okay, so 0.3 will now be equal to 30%. Let us not forget the percent symbol because again, we are looking for the rate. So our final answer is 30%. Okay, 30% of the class wear eyeglasses. Now to find for the percent of students that do not wear eyeglasses, let us take note that the whole is always equal to 100%, meaning to say 40 students is considered our 100%. If 30% are wearing eyeglasses, it means that the remaining percent do not wear eyeglasses. Therefore, for us to find for the percent of students who don't wear eyeglasses, we just simply have to subtract 100% by the percent of students who are wearing eyeglasses. And this will give us 70%. So again, 30% of the class are wearing eyeglasses and 70% do not wear eyeglasses. For us to check if 70% is correct, we can just simply multiply it by 40. Remember, finding the percentage. So this will give us 0 and 28. So that means there are 28 students who are not wearing eyeglasses. Okay, if 12 students are wearing eyeglasses, then 28 students are not wearing eyeglasses, and that will give us a total of 40 students. So our answer is correct. You may also use the other one. Since 40 students is the total number of students in that class and 12 are wearing eyeglasses, we may subtract 40 by 12 and that will give us 28. From here, to find the number of or the percent of students who don't wear eyeglasses, we may divide 28 by the base, which is 40. And that will just give you the same answer as 70%. Now let's try some more examples. What percent of 60 is 15? Again, this is the formula that we will use to find for the rate. Okay, our percentage here is 15 because of the keyword is, and our base is 60 because of the keyword of. Okay, so let's divide 15 and 60. 15 divided by 60 is 0. Then let's add decimal point and 0. 150 divided by 60 will give us 2. And when we multiply it, that will give us 120. And this will give us a remainder of 30. Since there's a remainder, we will add 0 to keep dividing. 300 divided by 60 is equal to 5, and 5 times 60 is 300. Now we no longer have a decimal or a remainder, so we'll stop dividing here. Then we put the decimal point in our quotient. So our answer is 0.25. But again, we have to change it into a percent. So we'll move the decimal point twice to the right, and that will give us 25. Then we will put the percent symbol because again, we're looking for the rate. Let's try another one. 150 is what percent of 500? Again, this is the formula that we will use. Our percentage in this problem is 150 because of the keyword is. Then our base is 500 because of the keyword of. Now let's divide 150 and 500. 150 divided by 500 is 0. Let's add a decimal point and 0 to keep dividing. 1,500 divided by 500 will give us 3. 3 times 500 is 1,500. There's no remainder, so we'll stop dividing here. Then let's put the decimal point in our quotient. Again, since this is a decimal number, we'll have to move 2 times to the right to get the percent. Okay, therefore, 0.3 when changed to percent will give us 30%. And this will be our final answer. Let's try another one. What percent of 450 is 45? Again, this is the formula that we will use. Rate is equal to percentage. In this case, the percentage is 45 because of the keyword is, divided by the base, which in this case is 450 because of the keyword of. So let's divide 45 and 450. 45 divided by 450 is 0. Let's add a decimal point and 0 here. 450 divided by 450 is just 1. 1 times 450 is 450. So we'll stop dividing here. Let's put the decimal point in the quotient. Again, we have 0.1. And this is a decimal number, so that means we'll have to move the decimal point twice to the right to get the percent. And this will give us 10%. So this will be our final answer. Next, 7.5 is what percent of 250? Again, this is our formula. Rate will be equal to 7.5 divided by 250. So let's divide 7.5 by 250. Let's start with 7. 7 divided by 250 is 0. 0 times 250 is 0. So we'll have to include 75. Okay, 75 divided by 250 is 0. 0 times 250 is again 0. Now let's add 0. 750 divided by 250 will give us 3. And 3 times 250 is 750. Now we no longer have a remainder, so we'll stop dividing here. Let's put our decimal point in the quotient. Okay, then for us to get the percent, we'll just simply have to move the decimal point of the quotient twice to the right. So this will give us 3%. Okay, therefore 7.5 is 3% of 250. Last example, 1.8 is what percent of 120? Again, this is the formula that we will use. So for the rate, we'll have 1.8 divided by 120. Okay, so let's try. 1 divided by 120 is 0. 0 times 120 is 0. 18 divided by 120 is 0. 0 times 120 is again 0. So let's add 0 here. 180 divided by 120, that will give us 1. 1 times 120 is 120. Then we'll have here a remainder 60. So let's add another 0 and bring it down. Then divide 600 by 120 and that will give us 5. 5 times 120 is 600. There's no more remainder, so we'll stop dividing here. Now let's put the decimal point in our quotient. So we'll have here 0.015. Okay, now for us to change this into a percent, we'll have to move the decimal point twice to the right. Again, remember, it's only twice to the right. So we'll have 1, 2. Okay, therefore, the decimal point will be between 1 and 5. So our answer will be 1.5%. Again, the movement of the decimal point in the quotient should always be 2 times to the right only, regardless if there are more than 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. So for our final answer, we'll have 1.5%. And that's it for our lesson for today. Thank you for listening.